Okay, I want to do a couple questions where you do some conversions, and I want to spend or have a focus on decimal points versus scientific notation. So this question here, they say convert from kilopascals to pascals. Well, that's sort of a basic metric conversion, and you can do that a couple ways. I'll show both. So you can have there's mega, and then a couple units, then kilo, and then deca, uh, no, hecto, deca, and then the base unit. So this is base, and so in this case we're talking pascals. This would be pascals, and then you've got deci, centi, milli, and then let me write that. So this would be a millipascal. And then you got a couple of other units, and then there'd be a micropascal. But those are just the basic conversion units for metric. My point is that from kilopascal down to pascal, it's 1, 2, 3 units away, or 3 decimal places away. So you have to move it three places. Now this one's kilopascals here, pascals right here. So there's 1, 2, 3, but you're going to the right, and that tells you which way to move the decimal point. So if I start with 281 kilopascals, just using the metric way of doing it, they say to move the decimal 3 places to the right. So the decimal is not shown there, so if it's not shown, we assume it to be at the end. So if I have 281 decimals here, and I have to move it 3 to the right, 1, 2, 3. Decimal winds up there, so your zeros are put in there just as real placeholders. So this would be the same as 281,000 pascals. So 281 kilopascals, same as 281,000, just plain pascals. Notice I didn't put a decimal place in here just to keep sig figs the same. So sig figs there is 3, sig figs in my number, since there's no decimal point, is also 3. Now this answer would be correct, perfect, sig figs are right, the unit is right, all the numbers are right. But typically, if we get a little bit bigger number, we start using scientific notation. So scientific notation, you actually have to move the decimal place again. The decimal place right now is here, and for scientific notation, it has to be behind the first non-zero number. So I have to get the decimal all the way to right there. So I have to see how many places that is. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So this would be the same as 2.81. Notice I don't put any more zeros there because I already have my 3 sig figs. So times 10 to the, I moved it over to the left 5, so it would be 5. And that would be pascals. Okay, so that's one way you could do it with the metric system. The other way of doing it is that, I don't know if we have that on that table, but to go from, let's see, yeah, I don't think it's on the table. But if you have, that table I'm talking about is the one with 14.69 psi, and then you have 1.000 atmospheres, and then you have 101.325 kilopascals. So if you wanted to convert to pascals, it'd be 101,325, just plain old pascals. So if you wanted to use that conversion thing that we were doing in class, where you say, this is what I have, multiplied by what you want over what you've got, you could do that too. So if you have 281 kilopascals, and so down here you'd put 101.325 kilopascals is the same as 101,325 pascals. So the kilopascals cancel, my answer's in pascals. You'll find if you multiply, divide that, you're going to come up with 281,000 pascals. But then similar with this one, you can convert it to scientific notation. Leave it like that, it's perfect. In scientific notation, it'd be 2.81 times 10 to the, and you're moving over 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 pascals. Both those numbers the same. The way I remember to have a positive or a negative number up there is if it's a big number, like 281,000, this number has to be positive. If it were a number, if it were a number like 0.000394, and you had to put that into scientific notation, decimal after the first non-zero number, so 1, 2, 3, right there, 4. So you'd put 3.94 times 10 to the, and you had to move 4 places, but because this is a very small number, you'd call it a negative 4. Okay, let me maybe do just one more question. So say I've got a question that says convert 34.39 atmospheres, and say I want to convert that into kilopascals. That's what I want to convert. Okay, this isn't a metric kind of conversion. This is more conversion using that table that we had. So you can write what you've got, 34.39 atmospheres times what you want goes on the top. So kilopascals from that chart is 101.325 kilopascals, and atmospheres from the chart is 1.000 atmospheres. So the atmospheres cancel, and now let's multiply those numbers. Give me a second to get my phone. So 34.39 times 101.325 divided by 1. Okay, so that comes out to 3,484.56675 kilopascals. Number looks good. Here I've got 4 sig figs to start with. In my conversion units, I've got 6, and 4. So my lowest is 4. So I have to go to 4 sig figs. So this would be 3,485 kilopascals. You can write it like that. If you wanted to change it to scientific notation, move the decimal from where it's at. So 1, 2, 3 over there. So it'd be 3.485 times 10. And since this is a big number, we moved it over 3. It'd be a positive 3 kilopascals. Both those numbers perfectly correct.